A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. That was by a certain Marcus Tullius Cicero, the great Roman statesman who lived around 2,000 years ago. I agree with that statement for the most part, but can a nation survive its fools and its ambitious if they are the ones creating treason? Take, for instance, the rioters at UC Berkley when Milo Yianopolous came to speak there a few days ago, on Wednesday. I call them rioters because that's what they are. They were not peacefully protesting Milo's right to free speech. They were openly rioting against it, damaging personal and corporate property, blocking students from the speech, and assaulting so-called Nazis to the point where the event had to be shut down. And I don't know why people are so surprised about this. This isn't anything new. Perhaps it's the growing level of violence against the so-called fascists and the growing sentiment among the left that it is okay to assault fascists, or indeed anyone who disagrees with you. The College Fix wrote an article recently discussing the protests and the media response to it, primarily the UC Berkeley students' editorial's reaction to it. Let's read a bit of it, shall we? Here's the modern campus left for you. The chaos which ensued Wednesday evening at the University of California, Berkeley was largely the work of outside anarchist groups that co-opted the media narrative, while the majority of the protesters remained peaceful, so writes the editorial board of the Daily Californian. Even more ridiculous is its contention that invited speaker Milo Yianopolous, per usual, played the victim. Wasn't he the victim here, though? Oh, right, I forgot. He's a homophobic, anti-Semitic, racist gay Jew who's into black men. I mean, he's practically Hitler himself. After he fled the protesters to the safe space of his hotel, he ranted on Facebook Live and whined to Tucker Carlson on Fox News. He and members of the Berkeley College Republicans mourned the death of free speech. See, the space that Milo sought out after fleeing the battlefield at UC Berkeley was not one to let him hug puppies and draw unicorns on rainbow-colored construction paper. It was a space meant to safeguard his life from those who clearly wished to do him harm. It is true that he spoke to Tucker Carlson after the event, and they had an interesting exchange. Here's a clip from that discussion.
Give us just a quick recap of what just happened.
Absolutely. Well, I have a college talk, which is very popular, always oversubscribed, and people love to come and listen to my contention that free speech is under serious threat on American college campuses from the progressive left, from the social justice left. Well, once again, and we had similar things happen at UW Seattle and UC Davis, they have proven me right. Violent left-wing protesters stormed the building and forced me to be evacuated by police and by my security detail this evening, preventing me from giving the last speech in my tour, which was supposed to be exactly about this problem. So, heavily ironic and very, I think, self-defeating for the social justice left.
Now, Trace Gallagher had given us a detail, and I want to check its accuracy with you. He had said that the university system, the UC system, had told you that you had to pay the security costs. You had to have security because of the threats you got from the anti-free speech agitators outside. But rather than making them pay for the cost of security, you had to bear it. Is that accurate?
Well, this happens everywhere you go, and a lot of people don't know about this. It's a new kind of censorship. It's a slippery tactic that American colleges use. They only ever level at conservatives, only ever speakers they don't like. At the last minute, they impose massive security fees on the students who have invited you. So what they'll basically say is, oh, by the way, you have to come up with $6,500 in 5 days' time, or you can't have this speaker. And they wait right until the last minute to do it.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. I cannot imagine how the universities get away with charging the event organizers these exorbitant security fees and are not held liable for the damages and destruction caused by the riots that break out at these events where they prevent the police from doing anything. It really ruffles my feathers. Continue.
But what seems so unfair, so perverse about that is there's no mystery as to who some of these protesters are because, as you pointed out, they organize through social media online. So they're identifiable. Some of them aren't, but some of them are. They know that groups are going to protest. And so the school could assess them the security fees, but instead they're blaming you for the violence against you?
I know. It's ridiculous. They could find many students responsible for the damages caused in these riots, but as is the consensus among the university mucky-mucks, the students were just expressing their right to free speech. Why should they have to pay for that? I mean, we should be paying them for their heroic activism and attempting to stop fascism, right?
But yes, exactly. And it's this sort of Kafkaesque cycle the left always engages in, like feminists who sort of bait men into saying mean things on Twitter and then immediately turn around and play the victim. They create precisely the problem that they say they're there to fix, legitimizing their own position by being the bad actor in the first place. American higher education, these universities have pandered to this social justice, have allowed students to muddy the waters between idea and action, between speech and action, by endorsing this sort of language like safe spaces, student safety. No one's safety is at risk from different opinions. No one's physical safety is endangered by political ideas, from a speaker on campus. But universities have sort of allowed this stuff to happen, even in some cases encouraged it.
Oh yeah, there were rumors. I don't know how well grounded in reality these rumors are, but there were rumors that many of the university professors were present at the riot, egging it on. And it doesn't require an enormous stretch of the imagination to see this either. Need I remind you of Melissa Click? But anyways, back to the article. But perhaps worst of all, the protest was a grand display of the same freedom of speech Yianopolous uses to justify his incendiary, useless harassment. So essentially, the California editorial is noting that the riot was hate speech. I mean, they say that Milo was spouting nothing but hate speech and violent rhetoric, so in their own words, the quote-unquote protest was as well. In reality, they are nothing alike. Milo was going to be speaking to a crowd about his views on sanctuary campuses and what have you. Nowhere have I ever heard him threaten someone's life or threaten someone with violence. The riot, on the other hand, was just that, violence. It was nothing but violence. Animals dressed in human skin went around smashing windows, beating people unconscious, launching fireworks into buildings, and claiming they did all of this in the name of free speech and to defeat fascism. What the fools fail to realize is that they themselves are fascists. They are exactly what they claim to hate and vehemently oppose. What is even sadder about all of this is that these rioters are victims as well. They are the victims of their own ideologies that have been planted in their minds by Marxist professors who are attempting to subvert the morality of our nation. What makes these people the most dangerous is that they think they are doing good, a lot of them at least. It's horrifying, because those who torment us for our own goodwill torment us without end, for they do so with the approval of their own conscience.